Hello and welcome to another update video about Luna Classic. Again, I always need to remind you at the beginning of these Luna Classic videos that take these honestly with a pinch of salt. I think so far it's worked out nicely, but still be aware that this is a chart which is restarting. It is not a massively long price history that we have, and squeezing here the Elliott waves into this chart is a bit tricky. I think it has worked so far nicely, and I'll do my best to give you here the key support resistance areas, invalidation areas, and my forecast for the next movements. But again, still take it with a pinch of salt. Just need to say that because it is also not just in terms of trading, it's just an extremely risky coin still, okay? But so to keep it here brief, the key waves that we are looking here from the beginning of that restart, so went from the low here of the 13th of May, we made a wave 1 to the upside, that is the view, then a wave 2 down, and we are in this third wave. We have not reached the targets that are needed for the wave 3, and we have a series of 1-2 setups here. And to reach that wave 3 target area, we would ideally need to reach the $0.001 level. Now we are far away from that. It would need to be from here a 200% increase. Not saying this is unrealistic. I think it's actually very realistic given the volatility of this coin, but it's just something we need to be aware of. And even if we get to that level, this could very well just be an ABC, something corrective. So therefore we need to see the wave 4 and the wave 5 play out as well to get an understanding that at some point we might actually reach a dollar again or whatever. I don't know how long that would take. But as long as we don't see 5 waves on this time scale here, it could all still just be a corrective move. Therefore we need to remain cautious here. We have also not broken yet the key resistance level here, highlighted in red at 0.0006. This is where the high of the wave 1 was, and we've recently reached that here in yellow wave 1, which was a subwave of white wave 3. Because white wave 3 overall unfolded here in various patterns, but we moved up in a wave 1. Yeah, we talked about that back then. It was one of my resistance areas here. And we came down then in wave 2 into that support zone that I indicated in one of the previous videos as well. And from here we bounced. So the question is now, are we really in this third wave in yellow, basically the third of the third, which is normally a very bullish wave. Now the first pump that we saw here indicates that. However, it was not bullish enough to put a lot of emphasis on this thought. Why is that? Because we have not managed to break above the previous wave B high. That means there is still downside pressure on this chart. So to get more confirmation that we are in the third wave of the third, we really need to break above this level, which is the previous wave high plus here the wave B high. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Ideally, at the moment, due to this move and the retracement level of this wave 2, which was perfectly fine, I would be inclined to say that there is a good chance that we are pushing higher from here. However, the condition is that we are holding this 0.00017 level, because this is the high, or the, no, sorry, this is not the high, this is the, this is the, well, it is the high of that wave 1. Here we had resistance here, so it is an important resistance level where we had also support before. So it's a key area. If we lose this level, first of all, we would invalidate the potential impulse to the upside, but it would also break an important structural level of this chart. So ideally we want to avoid that in a potentially bullish scenario. Now if we look at this now, the move down currently comes across as corrective. You could also call that a possible bull flag, okay? So we moved from that swing low here, we moved up quite strongly. If we go to the lower time frame, let me just yeah, if we go to the lower time frame, probably better even something more fine-grained, yeah, then we can actually see that this is an impulsive move where we could count this is a 1, a 2, then here a wave 3 unfolding with a wave 4. So this is sort of a lot of up and down here. So you'll find your wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's an impulsive move, can at least be counted as that, especially with this nice 1, 2 setup down here. And what is currently coming down here comes across as very corrective. So if we now look at the retracements, we have so far reached the 50% fib level, nearly, not quite. So if we, this is not a very clear signal yet. We haven't really reacted to a fib level yet very strongly. So I think this could still come down lower. It's not like we hit the 61.8 or the 78.6. We haven't really touched the fib level here. So, however, this is at least not bearish or anything. At least at the moment we have pushed up very strongly and we're currently moving down correctively with a lot of overlaps. Again, that is generally a signal where we could call that a possible bull flag. Now a bull flag is just sort of consolidation in an uptrend. So where you can see we are sort of still in the flag pattern. A breakout of the flag would be bullish, with the first target being the previous high at 0.00033 basically. And the breakout above that would indicate we are indeed pushing higher. Now we can count this here possibly as a first impulse with now a wave 2 unfolding. So from the low here, in a 1, here now a 2 down, then 3 up, a 4 down and a 5 up. Now again, this can unfold in various ways. This could only be the first wave of the third. We need to see how this is going to unfold. But yeah, waiting for the breakout. At the moment we're in a channel, so as long as you are in such a channel, you can't really say a lot about this. This can carry on for a while until we find important support at one of the key fib levels and then bounce from there. So the 50% is, for example, 0.000254. The 61.8, which is the very, very relevant fib level, is the 0.000236 level. And the 78.6%, which is also, let's call it near invalidation point. It's not really invalidation, but it makes, if we go below that level, it will make that sort of bullish setup improbable. So we'll move below 0.000211. If we go below that, I think we're also going to invalidate this pattern. So from here, we would then move up in a 3, come down in a 4, move up in a 5. Important. 2 catalysts here, breakout of the flag and the breakout of the previous swing high here and the wave B, and that would be confirmation that we are pushing higher here. So that's what we're looking at, and that's really everything. So I think we can interpret into this. We have volume on a steady level. There's nothing really too crazy about this, and as I said before, those indicators here don't really help us, as you can see. Because there is also the previous chart history on here, so can't really use the daily indicator or anything. The 4-hour is a bit more use, yeah. Here on the 4-hour, the MACD I think isn't, to be fair, but the RSI has showed just now a bearish crossover, so it could very well indicate that we are still moving down lower in this flag. But as I said, as long as you are in such a flag pattern, you can't really do much about it. We are in the flag until you break, and then the direction of the breakout could be a possible trade setup. Here another trade setup, just for a bit of education, would have been this area, this support area that I outlined in one of the previous videos. Key support here, a low risk trade, because when you come down to this support, you would basically set your stop loss somewhere below that, have a long position or 2 or 3 long positions scheduled in this or planned in this support area that would trigger when the price drops into it. And then if they get stopped out, they get stopped out, but they would get stopped out with a very low risk because you can set a very tight support, stop loss. And if they work out, you know, you have a potential high risk, no high reward to risk, to low risk. And at the moment, you know, we waiting for that breakout. And that's where I'm at. And I think we can focus on higher as long as that 78.6% fib level is holding. If we go down to that area again and lose that 78.6% fib level, I think we have to expect lower lows still. And yeah, overall then on the way up here, overall next target then for the bulls will need to be the break of that 0.0006 level that we could then use to reach the wave 3 target. Wave 3 target in yellow we can use, or we can calculate that as well. Taking the length of the wave 1 here, going down to the wave 2. And then we take a look at where wave 1 exactly ended and just pull the fibs close enough. I think it was close enough actually. Yeah, and you know, the first target would be for me the 1-to-1 ratio, even though I think we should exceed that. As you can see already in this wave 3, we should actually reach that level here. We should actually break the 0.001 level, because the 1.618 extension is normally the ideal level. So that would be 0.0011. And that means consequently that wave 3 would need to sit even higher. So potentially really bullish setup here, bullish development. There's one level that needs to break now that I mentioned. And overall, this could be the beginning of another larger wave 3 to the upside, as long as we break above that wave 1 high and hold that 78.6% fib level. All right, and that's my update about Luna Classic. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.